In October 2025, an atmosphere of intense anxiety gripped China. The nation's digital and physical landscapes were flooded with jarring images of a country seemingly preparing for battle. Endless convoys of tanks and armored vehicles rumbled down highways in Sichuan, prompting one citizen filming the scene to ask, "Is it just me, or does it feel like war is about to break out?" The timing of this massive deployment was acutely sensitive, coming just before the Chinese Communist Party's 20th Central Committee was set to convene for its Fourth Plenary Session. As speculation mounted, netizens began asking the crucial question that defined the crisis. Was China preparing for an external conflict, or was it gearing up to suppress internal unrest? The evidence on the ground. Throughout the pivotal month of October 2025, a torrent of verifiable footage from citizens across China painted a startling picture of a nation's military on the move. The most visible evidence came from the ground, where military hardware choked highways and city streets. On October 16th, in Sichuan City, Sichuan Province, a citizen filmed a seemingly endless column of military vehicles, his voice filled with alarm. Is it just me, or does it feel like war is about to break out? I mean, with all the troop mobilizations, missile units, and armored vehicles, everything's getting ready for action. On the same day, near Bohai Bay, northern China, the sheer scale of the operation became clear. A man filming from his car narrated the scene with disbelief, as civilian traffic was held at a single red light. I've been stuck at this red light for 20 minutes, just waiting for over 200 military vehicles to pass. This is serious. It's all military. The mobilization was not confined to remote areas. On October 10th, the streets of Shanghai were filled with Dongfeng Mengshi armored vehicle convoys, a sight one resident described as too shocking. It really stunned me. The capital itself was a focal point. Throughout the month, from October 17th to the 25th, Beijing residents documented military convoys navigating city streets, even interrupting a driving lesson and forcing all traffic to a standstill at major intersections. The skies were just as active, painting a picture of high alert. On October 16th, the air over Fujian City, Fujian, a province directly opposite Taiwan, was filled with fighter jets. That same day, residents near the South China Sea reported a large number of planes on patrol. 2 days later, on the night of October 18th, more footage emerged of intense military aircraft activity off the Fujian coast. This was a nationwide display. On October 16th, fighter jets were filmed massing at an airfield in Sandu County, Guizhou. On October 24th, a netizen in Anhui captured daytime footage of multiple military planes, captioning it with the question on everyone's mind. What's going on today? So many military planes are passing by. Perhaps the most chilling sighting occurred at 5:18 a.m. on October 17th over Tianjin's Binhai area. A witness recorded a single brilliant point of light moving at incredible speed, speculating. The sound was huge. This speed must be at least 4,000 kilometers per hour, right? Nearly Mach 4. This suggested the deployment of China's most advanced assets, like the J-20 stealth fighter. Beyond the hardware, the mobilization of personnel signaled a state of high alert. Widespread reports of a second recall of veterans and footage of troops massing at airports intensified the feeling of emergency. As rumors of a veteran recall intensified, a netizen on Douyin shared a screenshot of what appeared to be an official 2025 directive, adding official weight to the widespread online chatter. The notice laid out the specific criteria for the recall, making the abstract threat feel suddenly concrete for millions of former soldiers across the country. A key conditions for the recall of veterans. Although there is no nationwide recall announcement in 2025, in accordance with the principles of military human resources management, veterans must meet the following core conditions if they are to be recalled. Age requirements. 18 to 35 years old is the prime age bracket for military human resources. 35 to 45 years old is the secondary optimal age bracket. And those over 45 are selectively recalled based on professional and technical needs, such as personnel with special skills. In this clip, a father is seeing off his son who is being called to the military. He wrote in the video caption, "My son has been retired for 2 full years. Today he received a notice to be recalled. When called, he must return." In another clip posted on October 21st, a mother posted a photo of herself with her daughter in military uniform and wrote in the caption, "My daughter has been retired for 2 years. Today she received a notice to be recalled. When called, she must return." In another video posted on October 15th on Douyin, a veteran who had been retired for 9 years received a recall notice from his original unit and got a 3mm buzz cut overnight. A military blogger suggested 2 possibilities for the recall, either to improve combat capabilities with experienced soldiers, or as a direct preparation for a future conflict, potentially over Taiwan involving the US. The cumulative effect of these movements created a palpable sense of dread. On October 18th, a blogger on Douyin captured the national mood perfectly.
注意了，这次可是军事任务，不是军事演习。
This is a military mission, not just an exercise. At first, I didn't think much of it, but after seeing so many videos online, I'm starting to feel nervous. He noted a recent ominous broadcast from CCTV military news that declared, "War doesn't have a fixed time, and soldiers must be ready to fight at any moment." As online discussions correctly linked the military movements to the upcoming Fourth Plenary Session, it became clear the answer to the nation's question would not come from a declaration of war, but from a political communique issued from the heart of Beijing. The political epicenter. The answer to the nation's question arrived with stunning force on October 17th. The CCP's Ministry of National Defense released a brief but explosive announcement that confirmed the leadership was engaged in a massive internal cleansing. The full devastating scope of this purge was formally ratified days later at the conclusion of the 20th Central Committee's Fourth Plenary Session on October 23rd. The session's official communication confirmed a political massacre at the highest echelons of the PLA. An unprecedented 9 of the military's highest-ranking active-duty generals were simultaneously dismissed. The list was a roll call of Xi Jinping's own power base, featuring his hand-picked CMC vice chairman, He Weidong, Political Work Department Director Miao Hua, Rocket Force Commander Wan Hubin, and Eastern Theater Commander Ling Shangyan. The irony was stark. Every single one of the fallen generals had been personally promoted by Xi, many of them from his trusted Fujian faction, a group of officials Xi had trusted and elevated from his time in Fujian province. Beyond the official list, a shadow purge was revealed as 7 alternate Central Committee members were passed over for promotion, a clear sign of their political demise. The most shocking name among them was Lieutenant General Fang Yongshang, Xi Jinping's own military chief of staff and personal gatekeeper. His fall from grace indicated that the purge had reached the very heart of Xi's personal command structure. Other skipped officials, like Rocket Force Deputy Commander Wan Liyan and Joint Logistics Support Force Commander Wang Kangping, confirmed that the rot, or the rebellion, was far more widespread than the official list of 9 generals suggested. As commentator Li Linye observed, according to CCP rules, those who are skipped have likely run into serious trouble. The military movements across China now appeared in a new, chilling light. They were the physical enforcement of this brutal political cleansing, a show of force designed to quell any dissent, as Xi's own power structure was dismantled from within. A coup, a counter-coup, or a collapsing regime. The October purge was the violent culmination of a vicious, high-stakes power struggle that had been festering within the PLA. Expert analysis of the key players, the political language of the accusations, and the resulting power vacuum reveals a regime in crisis and a leader whose authority has been profoundly challenged. A detailed analysis published by the Epoch Times on October 22nd, titled, "U.S. Expert Analyzes the Life and Death Power Struggle Between Xi's Army and the Princelings," provides a compelling framework for understanding the conflict. The article features the insights of Dennis Wilder, a former CIA China analyst, who describes the purge as a life-and-death struggle between 2 rival factions within the military. On one side stood General Zhang Yuxia, the CMC's first vice-chairman, representing the entrenched princeling elite and the military's old guard. As the son of a revolutionary elder who served alongside Xi's own father, Zhang's influence is deep-rooted. On the other side was the now disgraced He Weidong, who represented Xi's new power base, loyalists rapidly promoted from the Fujian faction. Wilder speculates that the conflict ignited over the massive 2023 rocket force corruption scandal. He Weidong allegedly used the scandal as a weapon to purge officers linked to the princeling faction, which in turn enraged Zhang Yuxia. The conflict escalated into a brutal tit-for-tat war, with He Weidong orchestrating the downfall of Zhang's protege, former defense minister Li Shangfu. In a decisive counterattack, Zhang's faction then targeted He Weidong and his key ally, Miao Hua. This narrative transforms the purge from a top-down cleansing by Xi into a bloody factional war that Xi ultimately lost control of. The official charges leveled against the fallen generals further confirm that this was a political battle, not a criminal one. In another Epoch Times report titled Major Purge in CCP Military, several political commentators reveal crisis in Xi's regime. Taiwanese political science professor Ming Zhen analyzes the specific language used in the official announcements. He points out that the phrase disloyal and unfaithful is the most severe political condemnation in the CCP's lexicon, far outweighing any accusation of corruption. The weight of the four words, disloyal and unfaithful, is far heavier than accusations of corruption. Ming explains, it implies these generals may have been involved in rebellion, a coup, or at least fundamental disagreement on critical state policies. This language strongly suggests that the 9 generals were not merely corrupt, but were accused of forming an anti-party clique that directly challenged Xi Jinping's authority and chairman responsibility system. The ultimate outcome of this power struggle is a severely weakened Xi Jinping. US-based commentator Chen Pokong describes the Fourth Plenary Session as semi-paralyzed, arguing that Xi has entered his third term in a severely lame duck state. The most telling evidence is his failure to fill the numerous vacancies in the Politburo and the Central Committee. This indicates, Chen argues, that Xi's personnel decisions are no longer one word that is final, and are being met with significant resistance from within the party. Further evidence of this power erosion can be seen in the bizarre new structure of the Central Military Commission itself. Commentator Tang Jingwan points out the peculiar promotion of Zhang Shangmin. While elevated to CMC vice chairman, he was pointedly not given a customary seat on the Politburo. This break from convention is significant, as it prevents a key military leader from gaining a foothold in the party's supreme decision-making body. Tang argues this arrangement deliberately contains military power, creating a situation where Xi's authority is effectively hollowed out, reminiscent of the era when former leader Hu Jintao presided over a military he did not truly control. The purge of his own hand-picked generals, the paralysis in key government bodies, and the constrained nature of new appointments all point to the same conclusion. As US-based China commentator Gordon Chang bluntly summarized, Xi Jinping has apparently lost control of the military. If Xi is not formally removed from his party posts at the end of the fourth plenum tomorrow, a distinct possibility, the infighting will continue as he struggles to regain influence. China is not stable. A regime in crisis. The regime in crisis, the Great Military Purge of October, has left the Chinese Communist Party and its military in a state of profound crisis. The simultaneous decapitation of the PLA's top leadership has shattered the chain of command, crippled morale, and severely undermined its combat readiness. Critical branches, from the nuclear-armed rocket force to the Taiwan-focused Eastern Theater Command, have been thrown into chaos, led by a new generation of commanders who can only wonder when the next political storm will strike. A military consumed by internal purges cannot effectively project power outward. More fundamentally, the events have exposed the deep rot in the foundation of Xi Jinping's regime. The purge of his own hand-picked loyalists is a devastating admission of failure, revealing a system where loyalty is superficial and betrayal is rampant even within the leader's most trusted circle. The constant need for ever more brutal cleansings is not a sign of strength, but of a deep-seated paranoia within a hollowed-out power structure. As experts have noted, the regime is semi-paralyzed, unable to fill key leadership posts and teetering under the weight of its own internal contradictions. In the end, the answer to the question that gripped a nation became chillingly clear. The military vehicles on China's streets were not a show of force against an external enemy, but the physical manifestation of a desperate and ongoing power struggle. They were the armor plating for a political coup and counter-coup that has left Xi Jinping's authority fractured and the future of the CCP regime more uncertain than ever. The unseen war for control of China had finally, violently, broken into public view.